brought up in the 70s and you said you wanted to learn how to play guitar, chances are your teacher would pull out the Mel Bay books and the first thing you would learn is this C scale that's in the open position where you're using open strings. And you'll learn to read a note and you'll bring it over and learn in the first position this major C scale. It was really true. I think most people that took guitar lessons, that is kind of the approach. What was kind of sad about that was that all the time, all I wanted to learn was how to play I Want to Hold Your Hand, that like the Beatles were singing at that time, or the Monkees, I'm a Believer. I was like 12 years old and I liked those songs. And so I wanted to play them on the guitar. I didn't want to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. And yet that's what I was learning. Of course, I started out on violin. My parents, they couldn't afford a wind instrument, and I really wanted to learn flute. And because I wanted to walk in the marching band. And what happened was the only instrument we had in our house was a violin. It was my grandfather's. And so I had to take a lesson. That was back when music was a major thing in grade school. I think everybody was taking music lessons then. And so I had the violin. I went to school every day with my violin, and I learned quite a bit, actually. And I was playing in the orchestra, and I could read, at a certain level. But when I got the guitar, oh my goodness, that violin went up into the closet, because I just fell in love with it. But so fortunately, my parents sent me just to a few lessons. And of course, the Mel Bay book came out, and I found myself doing this all day long and applying it to Mary Had a Little Lamb and Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And it was boring. It was so boring. But I did it anyways. And you know what? I'm glad I did. It was boring, and it took, a little bit of dedication to stay with it. And in my case, I don't know, I just felt like I was supposed to do it because they would haul me back and forth to these lessons, and I was supposed to keep up with it, and I just did it, just out of obedience, I guess. I don't know. It wasn't because I was enjoying it, because all along, all I wanted to learn was the G chord and the D chord, so I could apply it to the songs that I was hearing on the radio. And you know what? I think that's really one of the best approaches to learning the guitar, is to learn those chords. Learn some chords first. Learn some power chords, so you can learn some of the songs that you enjoy singing along with. There's so many of them out there, and they're simple 3-4 chord songs that you can learn in a G, C, E minor, and D or something, and just learn those chords, and you're on your way singing and having a grand old time around the campfire or wherever you're singing at. So, I think it's a good idea to do that, to learn that, and to not to jump right to just learning scales and boring yourself to death, but maybe doing a mix of both. Okay, and so don't hang up the chords, and I'm not telling you to hang that up. I'm telling you to stay with it and enjoy doing that. Learn the guitar, learn those chords, learn those songs you enjoy singing, or maybe you want to write a tune. Learn some chords that you can put together and write that tune. But at the same time, I'm going to give you just one exercise. There's so many of them out there. And what I want you to do is, for the next couple of weeks, if you don't already know this, just sit down for just 5 minutes and go over it, maybe 5 to 10 times every single day until you can do it without looking. Because if you learn that, just that right there, and that's a major C scale using open strings. There's the open string. If you do that, you're now ready. If you're playing in the key of C, you can use that scale to play around that chord or to play around the chording that you're doing because you're in the key of C, to pick out the melody. Okay, and so it'll help you. It'll help you find your way if you're trying to learn fingerstyle. Now, like I said, I had to go out and get that book, that Mel Bay book. And what that book taught was that you had to dedicate on your right hand these 3 fingers to these 3 strings. And you had to dedicate your thumb to strings 4, 5, and 6, so that if you're playing the scale, the thumb only stayed in those first low strings, but these 3 fingers have strings 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's where they stay. That's their job. So I'm going to show you a C scale in the open position, and I want you to every day try it. Don't spend all your time, learn those chords, have fun with those songs, but just do this little bite size exercise every day until you get it down, because it'll become your friend. You'll find it really does help. And as you move on, you'll learn other scales, and those also will become helpful to you. There's the G right there. There it is right there too. And you learn those things, and now if you're playing in the key of G, you know where those notes are in that scale. You can use it to help you play around that chord. Okay? But you got to learn scales to do that. I say you have to learn scales, but what happens is in time, you don't think about the scale, I think. It becomes almost, it's a spontaneous thing. You just automatically know to go there. I can't tell you why I know that. I just do it because I have started out with a stepping stone. So what I want you to do is to spend a little time with this, get a metronome even, so that you can keep the beat, and start out with a little bite size, start out with strings E and B and G, and just do this part with your fingers until you can get comfortable with it. And you might even call out the names of the notes. G, F, E, D, C, B, and say them out. Go slow. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G. And when you do that, it'll sink into your brain. It's nice to know that a C is here and a C is here. Because if you're playing in the key of C, you have an anchor. Okay, so we're not going to go any further with that. It's just to say that I received several notes from people asking me, how is it that I can approach learning the fingerstyle? How do you go about that? And so I'd say, well, you got to take little bites and move through it. At the same time, enjoy those chords. At the same time, learn those songs. Don't give all that part up. Have fun with your guitar. But these things that sometimes can get a little boring, do them anyways, but just do them in bite size. Every day, just dedicate yourself to do it. Just a few of them, just a few minutes a day, okay? All right. So I'm going to leave it right there, and I'm going to ask you to subscribe if you haven't. I've got a few other videos out there. I notice hasn't been a lot of traffic on my channel. I think everybody's just plain busy. And I understand that it's the holiday season. We've got parties and gifts to buy and things to prepare for, and everybody's busy. But when you get some time, if you could spend time looking at some of those videos, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't, and let's keep Guitar Notes and Notions going through 2025. All right. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.